Where should we start? Should we start with from the beginning chronologically?
Let's skip anticipation because we all know we've been waiting for this thing forever. And let's just walk through the plot.
Since Riker and Troy walked out of that holodeck.
Oh God, was that the last episode of Star Trek? Yeah, It was. Okay. Wow. How times have changed.
Yep.
Okay, so walking through this thing, let's see. How did it open? Did it open with the Klingons?
On the planet. No, it did open with the Klingons.
Aha, I got you.
Klingons giving the speech.
Yeah, there was a war cry, a rallying cry.
Make Kronos great again.
It was.
Cut that out.
Very. Why? Oh no, it's too late. We don't edit this show. You're gonna have to deal with Eli.
So it's Klingons. They're gonna light the beacon.
Yeah, well, they're unifying under Kahless. So I guess before they weren't unified, they were 24 kingdoms. I think we learned.
That's right. The Klingon Empire is in disarray.
Ah, yes, classic opening.
It is a time of war in the Klingon Empire. Which is fun
because, stories are more interesting when things are happening, and something's happening in the Klingon Empire, so that's good. It's not just, here's this big empire of people we hate.
I guess one question is, I think they've implied it, but I don't know if that's going to be a whole long-running subplot of Klingon politics.
Yeah, I think the one thing I got out of this episode is that this is going to be a long-running series with a lot of arcs that are slowly unfolding. This is definitely a modern TV show.
House of Klingons.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet the happy one, the sad one, the angry one, the one that tries really hard but fails.
That one guy kind of hesitated at lighting the beacon. We have to assume that involves probably incinerating yourself.
Which introduced the new character Vok, the albino Klingon.
Yeah, I assume he was just off to die, but I guess maybe not.
Let's find out. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So now we end up on a planet. There's some dry planet.
Yep.
I guess they've lost the technology to dig wells, but they have old wells, so Starfleet's here to save the day.
They can't dig wells as deep as a laser.
Yeah, lasers. They're good. Technology. So in order to avoid the Prime Directive of interfering with a lower species, as long as they don't catch us doing it, it's okay.
As long as they don't make contact.
Oh, it's all about contact.
Because
it's not interference,
spotted.
It's contact. Okay.
There's probably something symbolic about that they solved a water shortage by shooting it, but I'm not going to think too hard about it.
Yeah, and it was just one well on a very large planet, but okay. There are like thousands of those cocoon things.
Maybe there's only like 50, and they all live right there.
Okay, but in Star Trek B-plot terms, how is this B-plot? This isn't even the B-plot. This is like the F-plot, it's out there.
This was like the cold open.
Yeah, a cold open.
This would
compared to the Abrams cold opens.
I mean, compared to the Abrams cold opens, it's not great.
Oh, no? Okay. No running.
The second Abrams cold open was like the best 10 minutes of Star Trek I've ever seen. It was great.
Which one?
They had the blue dudes in the red forest.
Oh, yeah.
Were they blue?
They were blue? Or were they red
white?
Also? Oh, they were white.
Yeah.
They were white. Yeah. They were cool.
And the Enterprise coming up out of stuff, which they always like to show that.
Yeah, we got that scene. It wasn't the Enterprise.
Oh, it came down out of stuff, though.
Yeah, but it was clouds. It was good. You got to change the direction, change it up a little. So that was a great scene. We have the commander and the captain.
I'm going to split some hairs here and say that her little signal on the sand.
Gorgeous.
Of the logo.
Fantastic.
The CBS logo in the sand.
Ouch.
It was terrible.
That was the CBS logo? I didn't catch that.
No, it was the Delta.
Yeah. So the captain is showing she's still wily. I
wasn't sure what that symbol was going to be, but I was like, oh God, I hope it's not that. I hope it's not that. And then it was.
Oh, see, I'm not that smart. I thought it was going to say help. Or
I thought maybe it would just be like a circle or something.
Like a big X, yeah. But no, this is Starfleet. They're smarter than us. They can do better things.
It's in the Starfleet manual. If you're out of contact on a planet, you walk in the shape of a big Starfleet logo, and they'll come get you.
So this was also a big info dump.
First episode exposition is always terrible.
Oh my God. I wasn't ready for it, though. It caught me by surprise. I like a mystery.
The part where she's sitting in the learning ball.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, hey, how about your dead parents? And she's like, oh no, I don't want to talk about my dead parents. And it's like, okay, I'm going to show you pictures of your colony on fire and ask you more questions about it.
Okay, but how about this? How often do we see a flashback on Star Trek? This is cinematic Star Trek. They're changing the rules here. This is like a Netflix show.
I don't think ever.
I mean, we get like episodes devoted to it or something like that, but that's the mysterious plant one in the clip show.
Usually instead of flashbacks, they actually go back in time.
Yeah, this was proper flashback, so let's see how that fits into the world.
And in that sense, I feel like it did deliver a bit on the promise of kind of combining Abramsverse and Primeverse. in a new way.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to cross the streams. This is quite a different show from Next Generation.
Oh yeah.
This isn't Let's Go Explore. This is a story. They're telling a Game of Thrones.
And if you want the Next
here.
Generation, go watch the Orville.
Don't start. It's too early for that. Secret. We like Orville. So they're on the planet. We get spun the story that maybe the commander will get her own ship, but that hasn't happened yet because the next scene is they're investigating a probe. Love that. That's pure Star Trek.
Also, let's circle back to her chances of getting her own ship now.
Yeah, pretty low, I would say.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of insubordination in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Not the cute Riker kind. This is full-blown death pinch. I always say that.
Death pinch.
Vulcan nerve pinch.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. But before that, we have a gorgeous CGI rendering of a binary system, and the characters make note of how gorgeous the CGI is. But fine. It really did look good,
Mm-hmm.
so the artist did.
It was a pretty good way to slip the date in.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good exposition.
Was it?
Monday, whatever.
It was Monday.
Probably,
we don't get days of the week that
Monday,
often
but I don't
Star
remember.
Trek. That's good. I'm proud of that. Happy for that.
I feel like a lot of this exposition could have been skipped. I feel like there's always a lot of pressure on them, probably from the studio, to make it make sense in the first episode.
Yeah, okay. But this was just like telling how you feel. I am in awe of the Starfield. I just try to imagine Riker saying it. It's just not coming out. Janeway wouldn't say it. She'd be like, huh, it's nice.
I could see maybe like Picard.
Yeah, when he's a little drunk, when he's had his wine for the night, and he's just doing his last bit of his shift. Yeah, I could see that. Getting a little poetic in his captain's log. Yeah. Older Picard, I guess, yeah. Okay, so what's going on? Sensors are malfunctioning. We have to send out our commander.
Something is scrambling their optical sensors, which sounds like a cloaking device, but we're not using that term yet.
Nope. And there's a little sparkly thing on the screen, and it might be a wormhole, but I called it. It looks like it's cloak Klingons. I called it.
I mean, we know the Klingons are in this show. Klingons have cloaking devices. They find a cloaked thing.
Okay, but we send out the commander because she's courageous, and the third officer, the science officer, who I think is hilarious, we need to talk more about him, is afraid of everything, and he's kind of hilarious for that, because I agree with him almost the entire time.
They didn't send the captain, which is,
that's nice.
Sensible.
Yeah, so it's weird. Yeah, it's not quite.
I feel like, and I'm going to keep comparing it to the Next Generation, because that's what we do. I feel like maybe Geordi would have gone on that one.
Yeah, but he would have had a cool shuttlecraft that he just improved to get through those rocks. Because, the rocks look dangerous, but I feel like Geordi could have gotten through.
Alternately, Tom Paris.
The Delta Flyer would have had no problem with that.
Dax,
yeah, she was a good pilot. Yeah, that's right. I forget about that.
And I don't remember who was on Enterprise.
Mayweather.
Actually, Archer would probably do it.
He was a hero. Speaking of which, we did not get a cameo by any old Star Trek people, and I was hoping for at least a Scott Bakula, but no.
Yeah, or maybe like a digitally de-aged Scotty or something.
Oh, I don't know. That's pushing it.
Somebody could meet like 12-year-old Scotty.
So. No. Oh, Chris Pine could have showed up just to wink or something. Okay, but we get a cool scene where she shoots across in a spacesuit, which is
very cool. It's actually very well done.
We never got enough external shots in any of the Star Treks, really.
I like the way it was done. She flew kind of straight on, not like Superman style.
Oh yeah,
which is
Superman
like actually the way you would do it in space.
I like her. No,
style. I mean like the vertical style is how you would
exactly.
actually.
Standing up, jetpack on your back, pushing you forward. That's what we want.
Compare this to they did that in Abrams Verse 2.
They were always on their bellies, though, weren't they?
I think so.
At first. Yeah. That's the way. Yeah.
And it was more like skydiving because it was extreme. So
no extreme skydiving.
She does something that looks a lot more like a spacewalk than skydiving, and I appreciate that.
And she happens upon a mysterious rock covered in metal, an exoskeleton of metal with twisty, twiny things. And this is a good time to talk about what do you think of the new Klingons and their design aesthetic?
I mean, Klingon design aesthetic has kind of moved around over the years.
Okay. Sure. I mean, original series looked cartoonish. I mean,
original series was like silver stuff and fur. I think they had some furs.
They had some fur? Okay. Yeah. Some face makeup, but just darkening their face a little.
Next generation, I guess we were into spikes.
Yeah, that's, I think,
and red.
The definitive Klingon.
Red lights.
The one we're all used to. I don't know what to say. We all know what that one is.
I've never really liked rehashed takes on the Klingons.
See, I liked the Abrams Klingons. I thought they were pretty good looking.
Really?
Yep. We didn't get a very long scene, but we got a short scene of Batless and their faces and that stuff. And they had a kind of a slicker, more refined look than the ones we're getting. Ours are more, I don't know, what are they?
Knobby?
Like reptilian?
Ridgy?
Yeah.
I mean, I liked the J.J. Abrams Klingons.
Okay.
As a piece of art direction, I like them a lot.
Okay.
I don't know if I like them as Klingons. That's all I'm saying.
Interesting. Yes, they're good looking aliens. You know, I have to wonder, like, isn't it famous, like, Michael Dorn, the Worf, would have to show up, like, 4 hours, 5 hours before everyone else to sit through makeup?
Yeah.
So is that how the modern world works? Are they doing that, or are these all just rubber masks they just slip into, do you think?
I think the materials are better, but it still takes a while.
So all those people have to sit in the...
Well, I mean, the background characters, like, are not as deep. Those are rubber masks. Okay. Anybody that talks, it has to be applied, like, directly to their
glued
face
to your lips.
so that it'll move when they talk.
Yeah, so they're sitting in that chair.
So, like, the 3 people that talked in that scene.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Would have all had the
now you're going to make me watching for that. How many people talk in the scene? That's bad.
That's true.
But they solved that by having a Klingon in exterior spacewalk uniform, garb, whatever you call it. It looked great.
Should we talk about spacesuits?
All right, let's talk about spacesuits.
I really like the spacesuit.
Yeah.
It was half space armor, half, like, anime, half something. I thought it looked really cool.
Armor.
Both of them.
Okay.
The Klingon one was very cool. I thought Mike's space armor.
Yes. Michael. Are we calling him Mike? Michael. Whatever.
The commander.
Yes, commander.
I liked her spacesuit. I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, it reminded me of the one Picard wore when he was fighting the Borg and saying, "Get off my ship." They had these, like, cool, modern-looking spacewalk uniforms. Yeah. Hers was a little simpler. She was wearing, like, a shiny black spandex as her main garb. Yeah. And then, like, white armor over it, basically, as the spacesuit.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I feel like most spacesuits now are, like, spacesuit and space armor are converging into one sort of, like, style.
Fantastic.
I associate with Mass Effect, but you know, everything else
cool.
Too.
But the Klingon was blinged out. If there's anything you can say about the new Klingons, 100% bling. And I don't know how they're going to keep it up for 13 episodes. They're probably going to have to reuse a lot of sets, but they're kind of gorgeous. I like that because they're definitely pushing to make aliens more alien. In this one, we haven't even mentioned the bridge crew. I mean, we're terrible at this podcast.
Oh, that's an entire...
Yeah. We'll get to it when we do final thoughts. A new section I just invented in this podcast.
Well, we get back to the bridge after she goes to the thing.
Right. So she has a duel with a Klingon because
accidentally kills it because she is such a badass.
Wow, yeah. Those thrusters, the back thrusters, see? Obviously better...
What? That was a very Iron Man move.
Does he have forward thrusters? Yeah, sure. What the heck?
He does the thruster thing, right?
Yeah, okay. So she kills a Klingon, blacks out because her suit's damaged. Somehow they save her because Star Trek. But it was tense. It was good. It was well directed and all that. They get her on board and she's angry.
She's angry. Yes.
Because she's been asleep for 3 hours and oh my god, there's Klingons out there.
And they apparently didn't get anything useful from the suit. So she's the only one that knows they're Klingons.
This is when we have the flashback. So now we have our flashback of why she hates Klingons.
Right.
Because this is a Kittimer thing. Her outpost was destroyed by Klingons.
Oh, was it Kittimer? Was that
No, not at all. I'm really messing up here. Because that was a Romulan attack. This was a Klingon attack.
Right.
We don't know if her family was Starfleet yet. It's a little confusing, but somehow she got adopted by Vulcan.
They said it was a Starfleet Vulcan science colony?
Fascinating, okay. But for whatever reason, she wasn't returned to Earth. She went back to Vulcan and got to go through Spock's training academy, which kind of looks awesome. I wish my whole apartment was a bunch of bubbles that I could sit in and be quizzed in all day. I think that would be...
I mean, maybe not all day, but I would spend some time in the quiz bubble.
The quiz bubble just see's kind of like a zen place. Even though it's yelling at her, it's very high, very demanding.
I mean, and the question is, was that a flashback or like a dream/flashback?
100% flashback. We're not that complicated in this show yet. We're establishing character here.
In that case, I think we should discuss the ineffectiveness of asking students questions about their family's fiery death.
Oh, I thought a lot about this during the scene, and what I decided was this is a smart computer. Like, it's just going to throw general questions at you to see, like, your sticky spots, and when it finds a sticky spot, maybe something you don't know or something you're sensitive about, that's when it starts jabbing you.
Gotcha.
Remember it asked Spock, how do you feel? And it just kept asking him, how do you feel? How do you feel? Yeah, these computers are mean. The Vulcans are mean people.
I mean, I guess it's, that makes sense. It makes you mentally tough. It probes you. It's like, in the military where they do the thing where they run for 24 hours and then like take a test, because you got to stay sharp.
And who's her keeper? Sarek.
Yeah.
Good old Sarek. Spock's father. So I guess that's our returning character. It's Sarek. Is he the only one?
Our link to the
Prime Universe, is that what we're calling
Prime
it?
Universe?
Even though it's probably the Abrams Sarek. But he's not very sympathetic because he's a Vulcan, I guess.
I guess that gives her the idea to call him.
Yeah, it seems like as jerk of he is, he picked up the phone really quick. Like, that was a 3-second ring. My parents take like 10, 20 minutes sometimes to get a
He was already dressed and standing there.
Yeah, he was.
With his 7 collars popped.
And he's very pandering, but parental kind of pandering, I guess. So he's trying to educate.
He's Vulcan, so he's kind of a jerk, but...
Okay, so anyway, she wakes up. This is all a delusion. Who knows what it was. And she convinces the captain that there's some Klingons out there because I guess her video recorder didn't work, which, gosh, I hate writing sometimes.
And this is that, and
false
also
false drama, but whatever.
Yeah, this is like a classic,
Contact.
Cartoon trope almost of like, the kid sees something, but nobody believes them because they have some trauma in their past related to it.
Okay.
I feel like this is a lot of after school Disney stuff did that one, like Goof Troop, I think.
So we're all going to learn to be friends at the end? No, that doesn't happen at all. So a Klingon ship decloaks as we're all waiting for it to happen, and it happened, and the ship looks nothing like a bird of prey. But it's got these 2 big engines on it, which are cool, but they're just big engines. The big engine cannons that I feel are a little Abrams.
They're cannons? Well, they're a little Abrams.
They're like the nacelles on the Enterprise. But they're green and on a Klingon ship.
Instead of collecting hydrogen, they collect the dead.
Even though the probe thing that we mentioned earlier, that had kind of a wing look to it. So you saw like some bird of prey look going on.
Yeah, the bird motif is around.
Yeah. Blinged out, of course, though. Good looking ship. And then it blinds them? Is that what happens?
At some point, don't we go back and like they're doing the funeral?
Oh, yes. I keep skipping the Klingon parts. Okay, so the Klingons are all upset because she murdered a Klingon, which is justifiable.
I mean,
he attacked her first, though.
They blew up the little sensor thing.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably knew where that was headed.
Yeah, so we should also mention that the captain of this newly decloaked ship is the one who is giving the rally speech in the beginning.
Right.
So this is a fanatical leader who looks like he's going to become emperor at some point, or if he's not already emperor. They weren't very clear, I don't think, on that part. But he was talking about Kahless again, and... I
mean, that's what you say to get Klingons riled up. Talk about Kahless.
That's true. And it was a lot of... the beginning speech was they're going to surround us and change us and eliminate our culture. So this is all preservation of Klingon culture, specifically preservation of Kahless's culture, which we all know from Worf. So Worf is educated us all.
That's true. I mean, we basically know the history of
it's like, it's a shorthand. So
he united the houses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Now they blind us.
So they add the guy's body to their hull of bodies.
Right. This is important, or I can't quite figure out how it's important, but the show makes it seem important.
These Klingons are very like Warhammer. They're very like grimdark Klingons. They got their giant ancient ship. It's covered in bodies. Like
some, like, what'd they say, hundreds of years old or even thousands? They did a scan.
I think thousands.
Yeah, thank you. Star Trek scan. So that's an old ship, or they dug up some old boxes and glued them to the ship.
It's just been flying around adding bodies for thousands of years. Again, pretty cool ship design. I feel like it suffered from one of those things that you see a lot where it's a very cool design, but then the way they show it and the way they light it is too cinematic to really appreciate the lines of it.
They had a few external shots of the ships, especially in a part coming up where more Klingon ships arrive, where the next generation taught us what space combat looks like. It's two ships pointed at each other, two big capital ships just statically sitting there.
About 300 yards apart.
And they paid homage to that. We had two big capital ships pointed at each other. What is the name of this ship? The Shenzhou?
Shenzhou?
Okay. We'll look at
I should have put that in my notes.
Yeah. It looked pretty small compared to this ship. And then it blinded them. We're finally going to get to my blinding part. And everyone freaks out. This is when the commander calls back to Sarek to say, what is going on with these Klingons?
Yes. The blinding thing happens right after
they radio home and ask for some help. Yeah.
And they talk to...
Even though it was an encrypted channel, I believe they said. Klingons.
Admiral Space Ghost.
Yeah. We get to meet generic Admiral Number 1.
I kind of like the hologram effect. It's a little jerky in places, like it loses connectivity for a second. Did you notice that?
It was a great effect.
I liked it.
Yeah. Normally they do that by trying to show like VHS noise in it, which makes no sense in the digital era.
Like Star Wars.
As we know, in the digital era, it just, it either works or it doesn't. And that's how it happened. It just skipped frames when it couldn't keep up.
Exactly.
It was great. Yeah. That was a good modern effect.
Buffering.
Even though I don't think in the Kirk timeline they quite had these sophisticated holograms, as they only got them in Deep Space Nine, but Times of War, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Maybe it's like video calling. I feel like that comes and goes in popularity.
Oh, yeah. It's just the mode of the time. Got it. Yeah.
Like it's considered really, really tacky in Kirk's time to holocall someone.
So now the worst part of the episode begins. Sarek gives the absolute worst advice, but to his credit, he's like, look, I'm going to tell you this, but you should not take anything from this. This is probably not great advice. And his advice is, if you see a bully, punch him in the nose first, or something like that. And the idea is if you always take an offensive stance, after you die enough, they might come to respect you. I guess is probably how it played out with the Vulcans. And they come to an uneasy stance and just respect this nature, this upstanding nature of the Vulcans. But terrible advice to give this commander who, well, I don't know. I thought,
but he had a point, I think, about it working for the Vulcans, because the Vulcans had a very different method of diplomacy than the Federation. Like
they weren't expansionists like the Federation.
Right. We saw that a lot in Enterprise. Of like they had relations with all these species, but it wasn't like active.
They weren't threatening the Empire. They weren't going to try to colonize.
Like they had achieved neutrality with as many other species as possible, and they were real happy with that.
Yeah. Now, this is where it gets a little weird in character development. So this whole episode, we're told multiple times that this is a 7 years experienced first commander of a big ship. And she now acts like a hot-headed weirdo because she takes 100% to heart what Sarek told her just to use as mild advice.
Yep.
And demands of the captain that they fire on the Klingons first.
Yes. So they go off and have a little discussion about that.
This is a terrible character moment. Weren't you confused? I'm like, what the hell is she doing? Is she on drugs? Is she hopped up?
A little over the line, maybe?
A little.
Oh
my god, it was terrible.
Yeah. I feel like the nerve pinching your captain should be saved for like,
oh my gosh,
when they're inhabited by an alien intelligence, or maybe on the holodeck for some reason, or, there are times where nerve pinching the captain is appropriate.
She nerve pinched the captain. I don't know is this supposed to be like a sympathetic character that we're supposed to be sympathetic to as an audience, but then she acts completely wildly. I don't know if they're trying to do like a Frank Underwood thing where like they show him murdering a dog in the first scene.
I was going to say, it actually reminded me a little bit of the first time they killed someone on House of Cards.
Okay.
And I was I guess that's this kind of show.
So is she going to be a broken sympathetic character, which I get as an archetype, but I don't know if I want that in my Star Trek, to be honest. I want an actual sympathetic character.
To get into speculation, this is not the Discovery, so I think we know what the fate of this ship is.
Yeah.
And also everyone who has not had a significant speaking role so far. So probably, I'm going to speculate here, part of her character development might be, this was a really terrible decision, and that's what gets everyone killed.
Okay.
And then, like, from there, she'll kind of rebuild on, like, oh man,
This is the first 10 minutes of Sisko's story, where everything he loved was lost, except for his boy. I had Wolf 359. Okay, so it could be that. I just don't know. We should say that we are reviewing episode 1 without having seen episode 2 because that would be spoilers.
It left us on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, so the Klingons elected Vok, we should mention, because he's obviously some upstart Klingon that we're going to have to pay attention to.
To be the torchbearer.
Oh, yes, the torchbearer. He gets a bat left.
Torch lighter? Torchbearer.
Okay, that was right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He gets a cool bat left.
It's wildly ornate. I don't know how it works. I didn't quite see the blade on it.
It looks even less effective than a regular bat left because it's mostly just horns, kind of looked like.
Yep. And that was it. Yep, as you said. And then it just ended. Mm-hmm. So, final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
How do we wrap this up? You started with an 80% note. Do you want to expand on that, or?
Okay.
The bridge crew. Sorry.
A lot of it was better than I expected. I really liked all of the art direction.
Yeah.
The cinematography was gorgeous.
Yep. Dutch angle. Every shot was a Dutch angle. They're so trying to separate themselves from the original show.
It's because the camera is fixed in space and the ship is tilted.
I would love to see some of those angles, but that's not what these were. These were dramatic Dutch angles.
Yes, and they might rein that in. But for the most part, I liked it. And I thought a lot of the dialogue was actually pretty good. Like,
I would say the character-to-character dialogue was decent. It's when they monologued, which was kind of terrible for me.
And again, that's back to, this is an issue with so many first episodes. They have like this checklist of backstory and exposition they need to get through. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, hey, we're going to wait until we're in the middle of a desert on a planet to recap why we're here and what this planet is about.
Yeah.
And also my career.
I like you to, have a little faith in my ability to look at the scenery and make some guesses. But as you said, first episode, we won't judge it too harshly for that. But it will be annoying if they carry on these monologues.
Which I assume they won't. I mean, a lot of exposition has always been done on Star Trek via the logs.
Yeah, I like the log report. That was fine, even though it was sensationalist, as I said before.
And the shot during that was great, too.
Yeah. Nice CGI. They did great. Let's talk about the bridge crew real quick. We got Guy wearing super AirPods. We have computer...
Cloud City Guy, let's call him.
Cloud City Guy. We got Cloud City Guy. We have Daft Punk Guy, whose helmet actually said alert when it switched to red alert.
That was one of my favorite parts.
Hilarious.
Did you notice when they switched to red alert, there was a little cancel button that appeared?
Oh, that's smart.
It's good UI.
Wonder if he had to slide it. Okay, who else? The pilot and ops seem to be this guy and this girl. We don't know what they're doing.
The girl does not... Does she have a line? I don't think she has any lines.
Oh, and they had a few quick ones. I don't know. Well, we don't know their names yet, though, but hopefully they'll be around because they seem likable enough, I guess. Oh, who else is on that bridge?
I feel like we're missing...
Well, the science officer.
We're missing a character or two, so I think they might end up getting slotted in here later.
Yeah. They'll get their own monologue.
Science officer, Doug Jones.
Yeah.
He's a great actor and has been in all kinds of stuff, and I'm really happy.
The actor? I didn't know the actor. Doug Jones, okay.
Yeah, I met him at a convention once.
Oh, no kidding.
And he was a super cool guy.
Very good. He was funny, comic relief.
He played the monster in, what was that Guillermo del Toro movie that was in, like, Spain? Pan's Labyrinth.
Really?
He played Pan.
He was Pan.
He was, Abe Sapien in Hellboy.
Okay. Wow, this is deep catalog for me, but I'm glad you know.
Yep. But he always does real heavy, like makeup heavy stuff.
Okay, interesting.
So that's a good role.
You know
for
his
him.
voice and not his face.
Ridiculously tall.
Yeah.
So
he makes a funny click sound in his when he's worried. He clicks.
He emotes really well, and he has really weird proportions. So I like him as an alien.
That's fair. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be fun. I kind of like that he seems to have a personality already.
Yeah, I hope they don't. Yeah, I think back to season 1 Voyager where they played the personalities really hard.
Yeah.
And then they back off. So I'm hoping his personality backs off a little. I can't stand him being constantly the defense scaredy cat, but
I also have some practical questions. Like, is he actually psychic?
No, it was all metaphor that
or is it
sense death coming. That just means he's scared.
But he
of everything.
said that they were like bred like livestock, but then he was like,
but why would you breed your livestock to sense death coming? You would breed them to not see death coming.
That would make them like a...
That would be humane.
That would make them like a like a lapdog or something, maybe.
How do you have a planet that only has 2 species on it and they both became humanoid sentient?
No, it's 2 kinds of species.
Oh, okay. technical stuff. I guess I got to read more books.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the ecological science of not having a food chain,
Yeah.
but I'll ask somebody about that because I'm curious.
Maybe they don't have plants. Just rocks and humanoids. I don't know how this place
Two
works.
humanoids and a bunch of rocks.
Very alien, obviously.
But no, that seems like something you'd breed like a small dog for, maybe, like that they can sense illness, you know?
Okay. Sure, but they ate them too, I thought. But no, they were diversified.
I guess
they said they served multiple roles, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, that answers. And maybe we'll find out more about that.
I'm sure we will in a monologue.
Maybe we'll find out about his tragic backstory.
I just can't wait to learn about Cloud City Guy.
I'm curious. I'm curious if we'll ever see him again.
He'll be back. He seemed nice too. I'm happy to have Star Trek back. Any final thoughts, Eli?
I am also very happy to have Star Trek back. I feel like maybe this is early, but it seems like a worthy addition to Star Trek.
Okay. I buy it. I'm still sticking with 80%.
Campy.
Definitely not campy, but they're trying hard.
Just for this episode, 80%.
80%. Fantastic. All right. Till next time, which will probably be pretty soon because I think there's 2 episodes out.
Yep.
We'll be back. Thanks for listening.
Bye.